Welcome to the stream. We're doing Atari 8-bit stuff today, and should have a good show for you today. I switched. I'm doing switching off between ST and Atari 8-bit. Hopefully, the audiences will overlap pretty well. I know there's a lot of people that haven't seen a lot of the Atari 8-bit stuff, and when I'm going through this stuff, I'm like going, everyone's already seen this, and I realized that it was actually, for me, it was actually different because I had actually, all the ST stuff was new to me, and all the 8-bit stuff was old hat, and now it's actually the reverse. So hopefully I'll be showing you guys something new, exciting. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's get into it here. So first up, we have Popeye, which is obviously an arcade port. So let's see here. So one of the things is I definitely need to fast forward when it's loading because it takes forever to be able to load off the disc. So, and it's kind of annoying hearing the beeps constantly. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all the hearts that olive oil is blowing, I guess. Sending down, and we can't let them hit the ground. That's the rub. So we already did the thing. Uh-oh, this could be bad. Ah. Ouch. One thing we can do here is we can get the spinach, and that makes it so we can fight Bluto. I played this way more on the Atari 8-bit than I ever did in the arcade or any other version. Oh boy. Alright. Ouch. Throwing 4 of them is kind of hard to punch them each time. I don't remember if I can go up this ladder. I think that's only the one. I think only Bluto can go up that ladder, so I'm gonna miss that heart. Yep. Okay. Only have a few more hearts here. Man, now that I'm down here, I can't ever leave this level. Ouch. Seriously? I wasn't able to beat the level? Alright, I gotta at least beat one level here. That's pretty sad. Man, he likes to throw those, I'm guessing, beer bottles? That's what I'm thinking they're supposed to be. Let's get some spinach. Well, that was easy. Unfortunately, since there's only one spinach per level, And I've already used it. It makes it a little difficult towards the end here. Towards the end of the level. Well, we have the beehive now. If I time it just right, it'll hit him. Wow. I am really bad at timing on those things. Able to get that timing okay. Only one more heart. Let's go down here. Okay, I've only been on this level a couple times, to be honest. I'm trying to remember what you're supposed to do other than getting the hearts, or the set of hearts, it's notes, apparently. But we do have a way to go across. That's kind of nice. That's going to hit him. I think it's funny how Bluto can just glide across. Let's get some spinach. Oh wow, it goes all the way to the top. That's cool. Ah. No. That's a problem. Okay, at least I get to the second level. Let's move on to the next one. Karateka. This is one that I have played before on stream, but it was on the ST. But I played the 8-bit version way more than the ST version. It's essentially the same game, but worse graphics. Thomas, good evening to you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Minus 8 bits tonight. Yep. We're missing half of the bits. So, but there are a lot of good games on the 8-bit machine that I think they, you know, when it got to the 16-bit machine, that a lot of the games, a lot of the concepts kind of went away. And obviously, playing these old games, we. You know, a lot of these concepts don't exist in gaming today. So that's one of the things that I really like, especially going back even to the 8-bit games. I'm going to fast forward here. This is a whole book. We don't need that. Really cool intro, actually. So starting to demo mode. Okay. So this is, I'm using keyboard because using joystick is kind of dumb in this game. Since there's 6 different attacks and movement and standing and running and bowing, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, and a joystick just can't do it justice. Now, what would be interesting is to actually map a joystick just for this game. Because it does use the keyboard, it would actually be kind of trivial to set up a joystick. But I'm just fine with the the keyboard. So I remember when this game came out, I was completely blown away by the graphics and the animation and everything. It was just, I mean, obviously this is made by Jordan Mechner, who did the original Prince of Persia. Actually, he did, I think, all the Prince of Persias. So he uses the same technique for the animation. And that is, he had his brother, I believe, do a bunch of karate moves, and they recorded him onto a VHS tape and then animated each frame. And so that's why it came out to be a nice, really good animation. Because we didn't see stuff like this as far as the, smooth animation before this game, I don't think. So it was really kind of ahead of its time. Oh, by the way, Thomas, I know I owe you a response on Facebook. I have been busy. I will get to you very soon, though. We're going to try out your new version of the game. However many times I play this game, I still can't get enough of it. I will play this game anytime. I haven't beat it in quite a while. One thing you have to watch out for is if you run at the guy, he'll just kick you and will instant kill you, which is really frustrating. It's like you're going along, you're like, oh, okay, you run into him and he just kills you. It's like, what the? Oh, I love it when I can get one of those hits in. Nice. Oops. Oh well. I fast forwarded through some of the music. I just don't want to sit there and wait for it to load. That's the problem. Ouch. I'm supposed to be kicking you, not the other way around. Hello, Brandy D. How are you doing today? Smell my armpit. Stand up. Run. Oh, I remember. Bird. Stupid bird. I remember the bird. So it's kind of funny. Last time I ended up playing through, Ninja. I ended up beating the game on stream, which was kind of cool. I normally can't do that on command. Who knows? We'll see what I do with Karateka here. The last time I played... Ouch. The last time I played, I got killed by the portcullis? Portcullis? I think that's how you pronounce it. The spiky thing that falls down on you. Hope I don't have that problem this time. Can't remember how many enemies are in this game. Ouch. Ow. One thing that's kind of sucks is the the computer gets more life and you get less life as you go. So it makes it even harder. Not only do you have to fight all the guys, it makes it difficult to get through them all. They do get more difficult though as the time goes too. Ow. It's in Morning Land. Okay, come on, go. Is a bird coming? No bird, I guess, because he's too close here. Ow! Walked right into that. Ouch. Uh-oh. This does not bode well. Ouch. You pushing me back? What the hell? Let's get in there. Ouch. Okay, this might not go well. It's a little frustrating because you get him down and then he heals back up and then, yeah, it's just, sometimes these battles take a while. And a couple more hits and I'm dead. Quit. Stop that. You're the one supposed to be dying, not me. Don't be pushing me. Stop it. Uh-oh. So the problem is if I wait, then he's going to heal up too, and that's no good. Ow. Ouch. And I am dangerously close constantly. Take that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No. Ah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I do it? No. Oh. Oh, well. It was a good fight anyway. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I also didn't want to play that forever, so great game, but, you know, I could be playing that for a while. So Blueprint. Blueprint is actually a 5200 game that was ported over to the 8-bit. And I never had a 5200 growing up. So I actually didn't realize it was not, they didn't have an official release on the 8-bit machines. So it was kind of interesting to me that, yeah, I was looking up the box art and I couldn't actually find box art for this game on the 8-bit because it doesn't exist. Oh no. does not. Yeah, let's try again. The box art doesn't exist because it it wasn't officially out, so it was kind of oops. So we got a bomb here. We want to get rid of that. Those potted plants are annoying, or whatever they want to call them. They're creatures of some sort. Never get that one. So you play a little bit of a memory game to figure out which houses you've been in before. You don't want to go into them twice. Okay, I've gone the bottom ones. I'm gonna trap here. I also have a certain amount of time that I can run fast, which is by that fast run time bar. He's so slow otherwise. I'm gonna run all the time. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played the arcade version, or at least I've played it in MAME, but I don't think I've ever seen it in the arcade. It's definitely one I would play if I saw it, just because it's, I think it's pretty rare. Okay, I think it's just the yellow. Uh-oh. The hot dog's catching up. Okay, come on. Oh, really? You know, the emulator has issues with this game for some reason. I've had that problem before. I don't know if it's just not in the right mode or what, but that's unfortunate. Yeah, when games were unique, yeah, you never see a game like this, and just a great game. I used to love playing that. I'm not sure why it's giving me such a hard time on the emulator, but oh well. I'm using Altera, which is a pretty good emulator. I haven't had any problems with it in the past, except for just a couple of games. Okay. Here's one of my personal favorites. Most of these are my personal favorites, but it's got to be the best soundtrack in a game ever. Especially on the 8-bits. Best soundtrack, period. And I challenge anyone to tell me a soundtrack that's better than this game. Or a theme song, or whatever you want to call it. I love how it's got a loading sequence. This is rare. Most of the time you didn't have this stuff going on while it's loading in the background. Gave you something to watch while loading. I mean, I could fast forward through this, but why? It's cool. But still loading while it's doing all this. Yeah, Mule's soundtrack I remember was pretty good, but not Ballblazer good, man. It actually has the lead on that, the solo, is actually procedurally generated. I just love this game. So I'm playing it on easy mode, which is the standard, but you know, it's pretty easy to beat the computer in this mode. This one has always been interesting to me. So it's like a futuristic soccer, but you end up going in two different planes. There, or not planes, but axes, which is weird. So I mean, obviously, I'm going forward, which is where the the goalposts are, but the computer is going in a 90-degree angle to me. So he's got different goalposts. And also he's looking at me at a 90-degree angle. Ah, man. Let's try actually shooting and aiming. And one of the things that's interesting is the goalposts do get closer together as you go on in the game. So now I can just run it in, but that's less points. And it's also more fun to shoot it. You know, one of the things I never did with this game, and I would love to, is have basically a Ballblazer tournament. And the way it's set up is actually kind of interesting. It's set up to be like a tournament mode. Yeah, it actually has like tournament edition and stuff like that, which I'm not exactly sure what they added to it or if it was just a marketing thing, but the idea of being able to play some tournaments with this, and actually the manual goes in, I'm just going to run that in. The manual goes into this whole thing around the Ballblazer tournament. It's a pretty cool, like, kind of lore around it and stuff. So I'm going to change it to be, let's see, a 3-minute game. But I'm going to change it instead of human. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I just had it as human. So that was the default, 2-player. So I can go with the Droid 9, which is the hardest. So I'm going to try like 5. Let's see how this goes. Computer's probably going to kick my butt. That's okay. Yeah, this is going to be very different. Jerk. The sound effects. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's going to kick my ass. I already know it. Should start with Droid 1. Work up to that. Work up to it. No. Wow. Yeah, I did great when it was in 2-player mode and the other player wasn't doing anything. It's kind of like the second player giving it to your little brother or something without being plugged in. Wow. I'll do Droid 1 next time. Just shooting it randomly so that I can maybe get it in the goalpost. Wow. He is going to totally smoke me. Wow. I think I helped him with that one. Let's try. Oh wow. So I can't change it once the game's going. Interesting. Okay. Well, that was Ballblazer. So yeah, I got my butt kicked, but oh well. Let's play some Alley Cat. So Alley Cat was built by or written by a guy by the name of Bill Williams, and he also wrote another game that I am absolutely going to cover, and that is called Necromancer. Necromancer is probably one of the weirdest games I know of, but it's awesome. Alley Cat is just a fun game. It's another one of those. It's like, what is the genre for Alley Cat? I have no idea. It's kind of like mini games. I don't even know what you would call it. So you're this cat, obviously, and you're trying to go into these windows, and you're trying to get all these mice. And there is a kind of a time limit going. It's not telling you the time, but... And that broom is trying to sweep you out of the window. Be interesting if they tried to do a remake of this game. It's like... It'd be a lot of fun, just because it's very, very different. Oh, it knocked me out the window. I love the sound effects. They're the high kind of thing. It's synthesized, but it's voice as well, which is pretty rare. On 8-bit machines, you didn't really have much in the way of samples or voice synthesis type stuff. Oh, I hate the fishbowl. Try going all the way down because I always run out of air. It's another one that has interesting sound effects while the game is going. Air, air, air. Not quite music, but it is kind of a rhythmic kind of background thing to keep it going. There's a lot of electric eels there. Oh, come on. Can I do it? Yay! Wow, I actually did it. I haven't done the fishbowl like hardly ever. Okay, so once you've completed a level, then you've got your girlfriend hanging out in the window, and you have to go romance her, basically. And you got to get. There's a present here. There's all these cats that are trying to stop you from getting up to the top, and they are a pain, as you can see. They keep knocking you out. So you get one chance, and then we have to do this again. So these dogs remind me totally of the dogs from Ghostbusters. All right, who brought the dog? This is always fun. You know, the dogs will put up with it a little bit, but they start growling because they like their milk. I guess it's better to go for the bowls that are empty because it's quick to nail them. Get them down. Ow! Ah! Got eaten by the dog. Wow. The dog beat me up, whatever you want to call it. Back to the cheese. So unfortunately, Bill Williams has passed away since the game came out, and it sucks because I always look at how where the developers are when they've done really cool games in the past. Most of the time, I don't pay attention, but when it's a remarkable game like this one is, in my opinion, I always look to see what they've been doing. Like, for example, the author of one of the games we're going to be playing tonight, whose name is Danny Bunton. And I'm sure many of you are familiar. They were the author of the game Mule, which is considered by many people one of the best games on the Atari 8-bit. Funny enough, I actually didn't have Mule growing up. And it's one of those things that a buddy of mine and I played it one day within the last couple of years. And we were blown away at the detail in this game. I actually really should add it to my list. I'm gonna stream soon. But the detail of it was pretty intense, and we were only playing at like the first level. And there's like the insane amount of resources and stuff that you can get up to, and I don't know, I was just blown away. So yeah, Danny Bunton is the one that did Mule and Seven Cities of Gold, and unfortunately has also passed, since making those games. She made a couple other games, but not a whole lot. Okay, so that was Alley Cat. Let's go on to the next one, Jumpman. So one of the first games that I got with my computer, actually, I think the first game that I got with my Atari 8-bit. Speaking of which, I actually have my 8-bit sitting here. I don't want to mess with the camera, but I actually have an 800XL sitting right here. I was actually setting it up so that I could hook it up and actually do streaming with it. The problem is the video quality is not that great. I'd rather do it with this. Anyway, sorry I didn't catch up with the chat here. Thank you for joining into the Vertical Blank, as well as Puff Puffin. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I know it's not the typical I know it's not the typical ST stream, but I really like the 8-bit machines too, so I got to go through it. And so one of the things that's interesting about Jumpman and Jumpman Jr. is you can't start the game with hitting the start button, which is odd. You actually have to hit the select button, and then we can go through and choose the level in which we wanted to play. So I'm going to go ahead and play at the intermediate level. Number of players, 1. Again, I had Jumpman Jr., which was basically the same kind of game, different levels, but essentially the same engine. Now, one of the things that I was reading about is the fact that Jumpman Jr. was meant to be a smaller game to be able to fit on a cartridge. And so essentially it's the same thing, but just slightly different. Now, I have never played this game, to be honest. I knew about it, but I played Jumpman Jr. a whole lot. I am not used to things falling on me there. So this might take a couple times. So at least I don't have to worry about stuff falling on me in this part. When I'm going, oops. I don't have to jump that. That's cool. Ouch. Man, definitely not used to them falling on me. That's going to be it, right? No? Okay. I don't think I can get there from here, can I? I don't think so. I can't. Oh, really? And it's shooting at me. Wow. As if the game wasn't hard enough. I know. I always complain that these games are hard. Can I run across? Yes. At least I don't have to jump each time. Okay, finally. It's kind of interesting. The themes are similar. Hotfoot, huh? Funny enough, I actually, and you guys are going to see this. Where am I? Oh. You guys are going to see this in one of my my videos. But this is going to get bad. All right, Thomas, thanks for joining. Take care. Oh, that sucks. But I actually got in one of my 8-bit hauls, I actually got this game, but sealed. I actually got a sealed version of Jumpman, and so I'm very happy about that. So I'm gonna leave it sealed, obviously. No reason to open it. So what I'm wondering is, can I not get that thing now? Oh wow, really? Okay. So one of the things that's interesting about this game is they actually, I know there's some guys working on, I know Kay Savitz and I think there's another person working on creating more levels for Jumpman. So there was actually a project online about it and being able to go through and analyze the source code. You know, they disassembled it and they made it so that they can make new levels. So I believe they have a level editor available. And I just noticed I have the Apple version of the cover. That's annoying. So it's kind of cool that it's a modern thing where you can make new levels for it. So that's kind of neat. Okay, Zaxxon. So this is interesting. In there was a forum post that recently came out that it was talking about. It was actually on Facebook, and they were talking about Zaxxon and the fact that you must be playing the 16K version versus the 48K version. I didn't know there was a difference. Growing up, I had one version. I didn't know what was what. And so when I played this for testing it out yesterday or day before, something I realized is that when you get to the end space levels, it's different. And it tripped me out because I was used to it doing a certain thing and it didn't. It was basically in the space levels, and I'll talk about it when I get there. By the way, I really liked this game. Growing up, I played the hell out of this. I think I played it in arcade once, but the arcade version is way harder. Now, another thing to consider is this right here, being able to go up and down is not something I'm used to, because in the 16K version, which I think was the cassette version, I didn't have it on cassette. I had it on disc, but that version you couldn't go up and down. So they actually made a different version depending on So not that it's completely different version, but the idea is they made a lower version of it so that you can play it on a lower version machine or lower RAM machine, like the 400. See, 400 only had 16K. I believe the 600 XL only had 16K as well. So I was kind of blown away that I didn't even realize that they made a different version. And I don't know. So I grew up with only the 16K version apparently, and I had no idea that anything existed. Castardo, thanks for joining. So I was pretty blown away at the fact that there was a completely different version out there. And so now I'm like, okay, now I have to get used to actually playing the game with the different, ability in different thing in space. Because in the 16K version, it like drops you to the floor and everything is at the same level. Now, I will say it makes it easier since you don't have to worry about the multiple planes, or multiple altitudes, I guess. See, I think in the 16K version, you're always at a certain level, or maybe it's always at the top, or I don't remember exactly. And I don't know the perfect strategy for dealing with these guys, to be honest, because I never had to deal with this. So when I'm doing this, I'm just kind of going up and down and hoping I hit stuff. Because in order to hit them, you have to be at the right altitude, and which makes things very challenging. Okay. But still a very fun game. I used to play the hell out of this. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Stealth. So this is one of those games that I had the preliminary version of it called Landscape. I never had the full version. That's the thing that was kind of interesting. There were a lot of games that were released that had, there were the pre-release versions. So like for Ballblazer, we had Ballblazer, which was interesting. And as well as for, let's see, it was not Cronus Rift. Rescue on Fractalus was called Behind Jaggy Lines. And so there's all these double names for a lot of these games. So there was the original name, and then they came out with a new version. So like The Last Starfighter, for example, we had that last time, was actually released as Star Raiders 2, and they changed all the names and all that stuff because of licensing, etc. But so this game, I actually was going through my floppy disks, and I noticed there was a game called Landscape. And I was like, let me fire this up because I don't know what this is. This has an amazing soundtrack too. We all pirated from the same boards. Yep, and that's the way it worked. I was gonna say, is that things were distributed in such a way that we got the pre-release versions of a lot of things, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's neat for me because in and of itself, it's neat to have those other versions of things just so you can kind of see where they were. So this was called Landscape, as I was saying, and I couldn't find this game when I was looking for it, all these games, because I actually used to play this a lot too. A lot of these games, I actually went through all my discs and I made a list of all the games that I have on discs. I thought about doing something like making the SD cards, but it just took forever. And I can't remember what the different colors mean. I know that red is bad, and you can shoot them. But oops. We don't want to. Anyway, so I actually wrote down the whole list of games that I had. So, I could do the SD cards, but there's no real point. I'd rather play the full versions because all those aforementioned games were on menu discs and stuff like that, which is not ideal, especially from when you're dealing with the front end and all that. And you don't get a lot of the stuff that you get on the full games. Things like loading screens and all that. I really love the colors in this game. The enemies are a little bit blocky, but the game itself is actually pretty fun. It's just one of these random games that you don't hear much about. It doesn't show up on any lists as far as I know of quality games. Ouch. Distance still is good, I think. So we're trying to get to this tower. Oh, I'd love to see the pirated discs though. The actual on stream, I could do that. Funny enough, so I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a menu software that it's a rainbow menu. And I was, when I was a kid, crack shows are a thing. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest. I prefer the original, but that's me. In any case, some of them are cool. When they were neat, it was neat. It was cool. But most of them were, they just changed the names of things, and it was just annoying. Oops, I don't want to be shooting those. Anyway, but yeah. So I remember I had there was a rainbow menu, and I changed it because I think I had the menu as the title, and so I ended up hacking it, so to speak, with the sector editor and changed it to Ed's menu. So I have all of my discs, they say Ed's menu on it, which is kind of funny. It's my own personalization. So I knew enough to be dangerous. I didn't like decompile or disassemble it or anything. I just used a sector editor. Oh, game over. Okay. Let's negative and positive. That's all it is. Okay. Oh, dormant or volcanoes. I don't remember volcanoes. Vaguely. All right, let me get through this, and maybe I'll fire up one of the discs here. It's going to look bad because it's still over RF. I don't have a proper setup yet, but we'll see. Okay, so Screaming Wings. So this was a... I know this was a game that was, I think, backported. I think it came out on Amiga and stuff. And so I had never played this. I had actually never heard of it. And, there's a version of it out there that's a homebrew. I'm not exactly sure what the major differences are, but it's like Screaming Wings 2000 or 2020. And I checked it out, and it didn't seem that much different. Stealth is pretty cool. The graphics and the music and the whole thing, it's actually not a bad game at all. But you don't hear about it. That's one of those that doesn't show up on a lot of stuff. So I'm sure everybody's very familiar with this game. I was not. So this is, I was kind of impressed because I was like, I didn't know that there was basically a 1940X type game on the 8-bit. So that was kind of neat. Obviously it's been scaled down to be 8-bit friendly, but it's not bad. And the fact that it has music going during the game is pretty cool. Theme music, correct. I won't comment on the theme music quality, but whatever. It's music. I'm not exactly sure. Again, if you guys happen to know what the differences are between the homebrew, whatever it is, remake, hack, that's out there, I'd be interested to find out. I could cover it definitely here. That's one of the things that I'd like to do. I've been looking at some of the homebrew games, and I'm not sure they're the best for streaming. If that's something you guys want to see, I can definitely do that. Oops, I missed something good there. I can definitely do that, but my thought is that it might be better to do that on individual videos. Because some of them, not going to lie, the quality on them is not the best. Can I die from both of these? Oh, cool. Is it a little land? That's cool. To be honest, the 1942 music is even worse. It's been a while, so I couldn't tell you what the actual theme music is. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, there's been some theme music where I have to shut it off just because it's just too much. And some people might roast me, but Bubble Bobble is one of them. Where it's cool for it's like candy corn. It's like, oh, this is neat for 5 seconds, and then you're like, oh god, I gotta shut this off. This is just too much. Just over and over and over and over drilled in your head, and that's nuts. Ooh, big ship. Whoa, look at the size of that sprite. Jeez, that is massive. Shooting at me, great. You need to play the Last Squadron homebrew. Okay. I am definitely looking for them because there's quite a few of them. And I actually owe George, it's George, the guy that does the Retro Blast thing. I owe him some reviews. So I've actually been looking for games that would be actually good to review. And I haven't found any yet. So if you have some, definitely let me know. Oh, it's one of those I have to do dots. Okay, whatever. No, seriously, this isn't bad. I know it was probably, we got to turn that theme music off. How do we turn it off? Theme music on. There's no way to turn it off. I'm trying all the buttons. Oh, well. Okay, let's get on to the last one. 7 Cities of Gold. It's definitely going to be the deepest game out of all of these. So I used to play this quite a bit as a kid, and it's an amazing game. It's about colonization of the New World, and it's really deep, has a lot of stuff going on, and it's one of those things that I played it a whole bunch, and then I revisited it a few years ago, and I was just kind of blown away, and just a great game. Again, this was made by Danny Bunton, and I'm not sure if it's going to be how it's going to be labeled. I'm thinking it's going to be Dan Bunton on here, because they actually transitioned genders. So okay. So press Option to create another world. Yeah, Dan Bunton. And I believe Bill Bunton was his brother. Okay, their brother, I guess. So we can create a new world, loading world maker. Hopefully this doesn't make me insert a new disk and stuff. I don't want to mess with that. But I imagine it's going to. I believe there was a map, disk. So we'll see how this goes. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Insert a blank disk into drive 1. This disk will be your new map disk. I am not going to hit start. I'm going to redo that and then load it using the map disk that I've got here. Let's see if it'll work. Loading game program. It's going to be a start from, I have no idea where. What was I going to say? No. Okay, please insert your map disk in the drive 1 at this time. Well, let me try. Hitting start. Insert a map disk. Really? Press Option to resume a saved quest. Oh, start to begin a new quest. It really wants me to put in a map disk. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think if I have a disk handy on that. I really should have gotten further in this instead of knowing that, or thinking it just worked. It won't let me go with the map disk there. Let's see. It did have 2 disks here, so I'm wondering if I can swap the disks. Disk drives. Detach disks. We can add attach disks. We can maybe try that. It does not like swapping that disk. Okay. And wow. All right. Well, this is kind of a bust. So let's switch over to real hardware. How's that sound, you guys? Let's see if we can do this here. Doing it live. I set up another thing set up for this. So we've got this, and what we can do is we can turn it on. Let's see if we can do this here. Flipped on the switch, and I don't know if I have this going here. Properties. Oh, I know what it is. I'm going through a VCR, so I have to make sure the VCR is on too. There we go. This is the quality that we're going to have, unfortunately. So, firing up the 1050 here. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I actually organized my 5 1/4, and it's all nice and pretty here. If you guys, let's turn on to the camera here. I've got my my 5 1/4 all nice and pretty with my labels here. Seriously, these are like 30 years old, and it's kind of cool going through here. I can actually see my my handwriting. And noticing it's the same, but way better than what it is now. I don't write a whole lot, so I chicken scratch. So Atari, you mentioned the Atari Program Exchange. Funny enough, And I don't know if you guys saw my Atari haul that I just put out a couple days ago. I'm going to venture to say all of the APX stuff, original, all of it, which that's a tall thing, but I seriously, I need to do another haul video of just the software that I got recently, but I literally hundreds of discs and all the original documentation, everything. I'm very excited to go through that stuff. And if you guys are interested, I'm actually wanting to do videos for a lot of that. I don't know how much of that have images for it. I also have a lot of the cassette versions of stuff. I am not interested in doing images of the cassettes, but the discs, sure, if it's out there. And I'd love to contribute to like Atari Agents, or not Atari Age, Atari Mania, or Atari Age if they're wanting that kind of stuff as well. But so let's fire up a game or something. Let's see, something I haven't shown. Obviously, I don't have the 7 Cities of Gold on here, or not obviously, I guess. I am going to fire up Mr. Robot and his Robot Monster Factory, rather. That was, really cool game. So I'm going to actually fire it up here. Oh, I got some 30-year-old dirt on here. Probably not the best thing in the world, but whatever. It'll be all right. So let's switch back to the other thing here. Let us boot it. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to switch the disk drive since I had it in the second drive setup because I'm using I have a couple different things. I actually have, I gotta keep switching here. I have an SD to SIO, as well as a SD to PC, which is RS-232. So I've been switching things around to kind of make it work. And I finally got it working pretty well. So as I was saying, the menu, the Ed's menu. So let's, I was trying to use this. I keep having to switch. I keep forgetting you guys can't see me. I'm trying to use this on my 8-bit. That's not going to work. Got to bust this out. All right, let's do this here. Okay. Now we have a real joystick. I got to manually switch here. Okay. So we have Mr. Robot and his Robot Factory. Let's fire that up. Now, unfortunately, I can't speed this up because it's the real thing. I actually bought an adapter to be able to use I do have a monitor cable. I tried the monitor cable out before, and all I got was black and white, which is unfortunate. And I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who, it might have been somebody here, sorry, the end of the virtual blank. I don't remember who said something about just using the composite instead of messing with the S-Video. And I did buy the adapter for S-Video to composite, but I haven't messed with it yet. So let's fire this up here. Okay. So it's kind of interesting. You can turn off the music by hitting something in the game, which is crazy. It's just an odd way to do it. Now the rainbow graphics in this are just insane. How much rainbow is used. Oh, I forgot about that. I can't jump. Let's turn the music back on. It's been a long time. One of the things that was really cool about this game is they had so you can make it. Oh, really? The 800 audio is really loud. Okay, hold on. Let me turn it down. How about now? Is that better? That might be a little bit quiet. Sorry about that. Wasn't planning on streaming this, but since my one game kind of didn't work out for me, because I'm on most of the map just right now. Hopefully the audio is okay now. I can definitely turn it up or down as needed. So let me know. But yeah, the rainbow graphics are just awesome. Still on the loud side, really? Okay. I'll keep turning it down. I can barely hear it on my end, so. That's one of the problems when dealing with this stuff. I have to trust my meters and what I can hear, and the problem is that doesn't always work, especially when you're doing something pretty unique like this. Trying to find anyone actually using this kind of setup is going to be kind of rare. Now, one of the things that's cool though is I did find a really cheap actual AV to USB adapter on Amazon, and remember you had to do that in a certain order or else you die. Anyway, I found this on Amazon. It was really cheap. I think it was like $20 or something, and it's actually working great. This is RF. I mean, I'm using a just if you're curious, I am using a RF off of the 800XL, and I am going into a VCR that happens to have S-Video out, and it has has S-Video out, and then I'm going from that S-Video out into this AV to USB adapter, and I'm just using OBS here to do the output. Now, the cool thing about doing that, and actually this is one of the things I've been thinking about doing, is if I want to stream something like the ST, what I'm hoping I can do is do something similar. Now, I bought a VGA to, or rather, the ST to VGA adapter, and I haven't tried it out yet. I just got it, I think, yesterday, and it came registered mail. I had to sign for it, and it was rather difficult. Okay, I think I can get there. I don't remember how to get there. You can only fall a certain amount, and if you try to fall too far, you die. Ouch, like that. But anyway, yeah, this is RF, which isn't bad. I mean, RF is bad, obviously, but it's workable. I mean, I had to tweak the colors a bit because, as you saw, like when I had the computer off, it was purple. But in order to get the colors to look right, let me go ahead and reboot. I was going to hit escape. That's not going to work. One of the things I kept finding myself doing is I kept typing on my normal keyboard to do stuff. And I'm like, That's not going to work. So it's Jumpman Jr. But yeah, I bought the adapter to be able to use the monitor cable. So I'm hoping that that'll be even better. But yeah, so I'm thinking about with some of the stuff where I have the disc and the image may not exist, or at least not out there to where people could download it. I'm actually thinking about streaming it or doing videos of it because, like with the APX stuff, I have all the original stuff, and I mean it's insane. I had no idea there was so much stuff with the APX. Okay, so let's start. This was select. Gonna hit select. How many players? 1. Player 1 speed, which I thought was interesting. You can go from 1 to 8, and you can go with 1 as being the fastest, 8 being the slowest. So I'm gonna do 3. That's usually the typical one I used. So now the colors here, they look a little bit oversaturated. Not gonna lie, but it's workable. It's not, it's a little, again, it's a little bit saturated. That's going to kill me. Actually, might have turned, this is probably too loud now, huh? I want to be able to hear it, but I guess not. I like to be able to hear what I'm playing. Much better at Jumpman Jr. than I am at Jumpman. All right, let's see. Wow. Going fast today. That's okay. Get some bonus time here. There's something special about playing on the original hardware, even though I'm playing not, with a monitor. Oh, I was going to say, sorry, on the Atari ST stuff, is I know one of the problems with running on an ST is if you're trying to do to modern displays, especially, if you're trying to do a VGA monitor, the refresh rate is really, not what modern monitors can handle. So what I'm hoping is that I won't have that issue in OBS because, funny enough, you can actually almost sometimes rig it so that you're running through OBS as your display, which could definitely work. It's a little hacky, but whatever. Yeah, Antic Podcast. I have listened to it a few times. I would say I'm not a big podcast guy. Mainly because I work from home, so I look at podcasts as a great thing to do, like in the car where you can't do anything else. And I am very much a single tasker. I have a real hard time with multitasking, and so I find myself when I'm listening to stuff like that, I can't do anything else, and that's makes it rather difficult. So that's one of the things, like if I had a commute, then a podcast would be awesome. I have a buddy of mine that is really into podcasts. And he's like, oh, you should listen to this one. You should listen to this one. And for me, it's hard for me to try to sit down and listen to it because again, that becomes my only focus. And while I would love to listen to those, and I should probably, they tend to be long. They tend to be, packed full of information, and I can't really do that at the same time. Maybe I could do it like when programming for 8-bit stuff. That's one thing is I have been doing also is I have been programming on 8-bit stuff, which is kind of cool. I was going through some tutorials on display list interrupt stuff. Let's see if I have anything that's interesting in here versus what I have in the other. I'm not sure I do. I think I have most of the same stuff that is, we have ATRs for. But yeah, so I have just floppies, just continuous sea of floppies here with all these menus. Some of them aren't menued, but I mean, most of them are. It's kind of nuts. Let's see. And then I have the individual discs for, Spy versus Spy and Spy versus Spy 2, Electroglide. I don't even remember Electroglide. 15 Strike Eagle, Ninja, Whistler's Brother, Caverns of Mars, the Zork series, Zorro, Stranded. I loved all of the Datasoft games. I've got all of them on here. Actually, I'm missing a couple on these discs, but I have the ATRs of them, of Conan, Zorro, Goonies, and Bruce Lee. Let's see, used to listen to podcasts on my commute, working from home for a year. Really cuts into the podcast time. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, usually if I had a commute, that would be awesome. Especially like same with things like audiobooks. That'd be a great time too. And all the floppies still seem to work. Yes. They've been sitting in a storage room for, 25 years, but they still seem to work. I actually haven't had any errors. A lot of people say, oh, well, magnetic media doesn't last that long. Obviously these aren't archival quality kind of things, but they seem to be working pretty well. So I actually went through and found some of my old code on here, but I don't really have much to show. I was looking through it and I was like, the one thing I have was like a hack of a game called Quest, basic game. And I was enamored with it because they had changed the character set. And that was the thing. As far as these, depends on where they were stored. They were stored in a hot storage room. I mean, they weren't, it was not moist. I think that would also, humidity would actually have a major effect on it. And, the town that I grew up in is not very humid. It's pretty temperate. Hot is damp is probably the worst. Yeah. It is hot and dry. So, and stuffed in a box in the back of a storage unit. And, but they're fine. I mean, so far, I haven't had any problems. But again, these are copies. I'm not really worried about these floppies being, bad or not. But so far it's been pretty good. So I'm trying to think of what else guys can show you on the 8-bit. Actually, let's see what's in here. Because I've got some games that are already looked at, but then I can look at some others just because we're ahead of schedule here, which is rare. Normally we're behind schedule. So I can turn off favorites here, and we can do the platform as being Atari 800. And so we can take a look at some of these games in here. Some of these I have played, some of them I haven't. One of the reasons why there's so many of a lot of these is because there's multiple discs. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with a front end, multiple discs are kind of the bane of your existence. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that you have to manually go through and tweak some things. We could play some basketball. There we go. Just a pretty lame version of basketball, but whatever. Let's see what else we got in here that jumps out at me here. We got Boulder Dash. We were talking about Boulder Dash earlier. Let's check out Boulder Dash. Well, these copies are special too. These have your custom menu. You might consider dumping them. Yeah, I have thought about it. It's one of those things that they are special in their own way, and that they were mine, and I could make ATRs of them. That'd be cool. I think the biggest problem is time. Having to go in and to it. So the music here is pretty good, I will admit. First Star Software is another company that they made really good games. I have no idea what happened to them after the 8-bit era, because I only know the stuff on the Atari 8-bit. But I played the hell out of Boulder Dash. Was some I played it as some, but I mostly played games like Flip and Flop, which was another major flip and flop, or rather Another First Star release. Bristles, I think, is another one. Let's see, press button to play. Okay. Now, I believe this was a game that originated on the 8-bit and then was ported to other platforms. It's always kind of interesting when you play what it was programmed on and then see what they did in the other on the other platforms. That's gonna hurt. Oh, okay. Phew. Yay! First Star Software still exists? Really? Emulators messed up. Well, that's unfortunate. It happens. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's the system I need to specify or I don't know what's going on with that. I'm curious. So they still exist. I'm guessing they got bought by somebody, or are they actually still exist as their own instance? They released the 30th anniversary Boulder Dash a few years ago. Nice. This was kind of a weird game. Bristles. So you go around and you paint. It's kind of like a Cubert kind of thing, is in the way you're trying to paint things. The color that, the new color or whatever. Oh man, I am not doing so well. You can get it on Steam. Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. Or going from cream to white. Interesting. Uh-oh. It's always weird when you die in this game. It's not really dying. It's kind of... you just get hit and you have to go back to the start. And the music that it plays each time is kind of neat. Does the button do anything? Oh, it does. It will jump. Okay. The duck is funny. It's like it doesn't permanently duck, just ducks a little bit. Funky sound effects. Ouch. Pretty sure these aren't the same people though. So someone bought it and they're just they're cashing in on it. I can't blame them. Yeah, that's fine. If you have something that you can cash in on, why not? Kind of like an aforementioned console that just came out. Or not aforementioned, but the unnamed console that just came out by a well-known company that we all know and love. I saw something the other day. It was like something about 3DFX is back, and someone's comment was that it's got to be a crypto thing because it's like, really, 3DFX, really? Okay. I think I'm in like, I don't know why I'm not able. I think I'm in like no, I'm getting hit. Weird. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure why the candy cane or whatever. I looked at Wikipedia. The original company existed until 2018. That's actually still impressive. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. Maybe I have to get that other candy cane? No, that didn't do it. Not sure. Not quite sure. That's still impressive that they were still alive until 2018. I'm going to have to check it out because, yeah, I really liked a lot of those games. Oh, wow. Dallas Quest. I don't know if you guys ever played that. I have this thing in my head that I would really love to play a lot of those adventure games and just play the whole thing, just to play through it. I know they're a bit on the slow side today, but still, I don't know. Certain part of me wants to do it. Excalibur. Oh, that's an APX game. That's cool. Okay. Oh, this is one of my favorites. So I feel like we're in bonus time here. Yes, I'm going to be covering some of these games later on officially. But since, oh, wow, I've never heard of this one. Design Labs Genesis. Never heard of this. 30th anniversary game is from 2016. So this can still be considered an original release. Okay, did they redo the graphics and stuff on it, or did they just make it so that it port it to the modern platforms? Whoa! Oh, so this is totally a. Oh, I vaguely remember this actually. Whoa! Okay, this is kind of giving me some deja vu because obviously this is Tempest, but I totally remember this. Weird. But yeah, this is totally total. Oh, weird. Sorry, getting a little deja vu going on here. That's where you can repair. Oh, that you can repair the sections. The flicker is annoying, but it's okay. Wave over. Is this game called Genesis? Yeah, it's so weird. I've got major deja vu going on while playing this. And I played my share of Tempest and Tempest 2000 and stuff, but this is totally not Tempest. All right. I don't know if you're being facetious or not, but I mean, yes, there's slightly difference. No, sorry, Bob. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't think we had Tempest on the 8-bit, so I mean, if it's not ported, I don't know. I kind of feel like fair game. I mean, if they had an actual Tempest version, that would be, it's like, why bother? But it's actually totally playable. I think the biggest problem I have is the flickering, but Okay, do I just go on forever? I'm guessing I have a certain amount of lives here that I'm gonna be losing here. I think the difference is that you can repair the section. So there are slight differences. It's definitely heavily inspired by Tempest. Game over. Okay, cool. That's actually pretty neat. Genesis. I know I had played that. That's the thing that's interesting, but I don't know what happened to that copy or whatever, but I don't think I had it in, more recent times, but in any case, I actually have someone coming here soon. So I'm actually, since we're in bonus lane here, I figured probably end it early. But in any case, appreciate you guys being here. Next week, I'll be doing ST stuff again. And hopefully I won't be torturing you guys too much with the 8-bit stuff. See, there's that horrible unfinished Tempest prototype that Atari insists on putting in every collection since 2010. Was that for the 8-bit or that's for the 2600, right? I think you're talking about. I don't think I've ever tried it. I know that I've seen the box art for it and stuff. But thanks for joining. Anyway, I will be back with ST stuff next week. And I also am putting out a couple new, I'm putting out a Let's Play series on the game Raft, if you're interested. It's a new game. It's not retro, but I really enjoy playing those kind of games. And so if you're interested, be sure to check it out. So in any case, I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining. Take care, guys.